Good day. I'm radio and TV personality Rob Pajotto in Toronto, Ontario, and we are gearing up for the Accounts Payable Leadership Conference in Chicago. And with me today is Garry Stevens, AP P2P trainer with IFOL. Garry, tell us a little about yourself and where you're coming to us from.
Yeah, I'm coming to you from Aberdeen in the northeast of Scotland. Sunny Aberdeen as it is at the moment, which is great. We've had some pretty mixed weather up until now, but I'm sitting here in shorts and t-shirts. So, yeah, it's all good.
Love that. Love that. So we're going to be seeing you in Chicago, but why don't you give us a little background on your professionalism and what you do best?
Okay, well, hopefully a lot of the IFOL members will be aware of me. I've been with IFOL now for the last couple of years. But before that, I've got a lot of experience, over 25 years experience in public sector, where I was a financial service manager for a number of years before I took early retirement in 2016. Prior to that, I had experience in accounts receivables collections. So I've got experience on both sides of the fence, collections and payments. When I took on the role of Financial Services Manager at my local authority, we were struggling in terms of how we were paying our suppliers. We weren't paying them in time, and that was causing us issues. And in terms of 32 councils in Scotland, we were about 27th, 28th in the league table in terms of performance. So we needed to do a lot of work to get us improved and look after our suppliers. So I was quite fortunate for me at that time, because I was able to have a blank piece of paper and really move on and transform the way that we worked. So I brought in a couple of initial changes, which are really important building blocks if you want to move on in a transformation project. First one was to centralize our accounts payable team. So we brought in a dedicated team of staff rather than have a lot of them spread over the organization, where they maybe were only processing invoices in a small percentage of their time. So we had that dedicated team set up. And the other issue was, because it was all paper-based at that particular time, we moved to a workflow system so that all our invoices could come in centrally, they could be scanned in, and they could be moved around the organizations if, for example, we had problems with invoices not getting paid on time and there was disputes with them and that sort of thing. So those two introductions really started to move us forward in terms of how we were improving our performance. From there, once we got that bedded in and we were happy with it and people were used to the way of working, we then brought in the technology that needed to push us to the next stage. That was things like optical character recognition, and more importantly, the electronic invoicing. So suppliers could send in invoices directly, electronically, that fed directly into our mainframe system. So those two areas were the next things. And from there, we started to really see a big improvement in how we were paying our suppliers. So we moved from, as I say, bottom of the table, basically, up to top performing local authority for about 2 or 3 years before I left, which was great. And we also won a couple of awards on the back of that, which is really good for the staff to get recognition too. And we were also because we were best in practice, other local authorities looked to us to give tips and help in terms of how they could improve their processes. So we were able to assist other local authorities as well. Once I left the council, I did a couple of other roles in finance, and then post-COVID, I joined IFOL, and they asked me to help out with the certification programs. So I looked at existing certification programs, brought it up to date, revamped some of it, and for the last sort of 18 months, I've been working on bringing in new certification programs, and one that we're just about to launch is a Financial Operations Manager course. And by the time we get to Chicago, that should already be up and running. So that's a really interesting course. It's something I could relate to, having done that particular role myself. So that's going to be quite exciting. And we've got others in the pipeline as well, which I'm currently working away on here in Aberdeen.
Well, it sounds like you came out of retirement hitting the ground running.
I did.
So let's talk about Chicago for a minute. Your session is going to be Accounts Payable Leaders Priorities Revealed. Give us a little sneak peek into what you'll be discussing that day.
Yeah, well, looking forward to that. Been fortunate enough, and last year we were in Philadelphia and we're in London this year, and I was able to kick off the conferences by sitting on the panel where we were discussing the results of our annual survey. The great thing is that with our annual survey, we obviously see from previous years how things are changing within the industry. For example, how many organizations are moving to more technology. As I mentioned before, e-invoicing, or even as it is now, artificial intelligence is a big thing in our industry. And also the other side of the coin is how organizations are being targeted by fraudsters, and how they're combating that in their organizations, what tools are using for that. So there's a lot of areas which are very topical that we're going to be touching on at the introductory session, looking at the annual survey results.
You know, I've been doing some webinars with IFOL for the last 8 months, and the hot topic is AI and fraudsters. So looking forward to that. Before we leave, Garry, give me one fun fact about you.
Okay, well, we've got the conference in Chicago. 4th of July is a date which the people will know as being Independence Day. My birthday's on the 4th of July, and so is my wife's. So we share the same birthday on the 4th of July.
So every 4th of July, there's all kinds of fireworks going
Oh,
on.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But one thing, we've never actually managed to be over in the States on our birthday. So that is on our bucket list, and we're definitely going to do that.
Well, congratulations on your birthday coming up soon. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you in Chicago.
Look forward to seeing you, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
And everybody else that's going to be attending in Chicago. Thank you very much.
Thank you.